My political journey has been a roller coaster, way back from secondary school or way back from primary school. Latest could be secondary school where I was head prefect. Maybe latest could be vice president in Makerere University, running for guild president as well. Then the latest was me deciding to run for member of parliament for a directly elected seat. That is a male-dominated space. I'm Lenia Kevin from Arua district, particularly Vurra County. Charity Lenia is a very purpose-driven young woman who wishes to transform her community. And I thought I could do that through offering my candidacy to the people of Vurra County. So I'm somebody who has always directed my life towards leadership throughout growing up. That is why I even participated in the institution elections. I ran for guild presidency, was appointed vice president. That was while at Makerere University Business School. And for me, when I identify myself through my purpose, because I believe that it is very important for you to know your purpose when you know why you were born. And for me, I know that I was born for this purpose. I was born to transform my community. I was born to serve my people. And for me, literally, that's how I describe myself anytime somebody asks me. But I know that I am very purpose-driven. I'm somebody who is very courageous. Out there, I am very certain people know that when Charity sets her mind to do something, she's unstoppable. And I'm very certain that that is what I have portrayed even to my friends. Now I know personally that when I set my mind to achieve a particular goal, I will do my best to make sure that I achieve that particular goal. Yeah. My political journey has been a roller coaster. Just like I said, I think that is way back from secondary school or way back from primary school. Latest could be secondary school where I was head prefect. Maybe latest could be vice president in Makerere University, running for guild president as well. But I think that the turning points is when we get political parties, when you're affiliated to different political parties, then you have to make a switch. Then the latest was me deciding to run for member of parliament for a directly elected seat. That is a male-dominated space. So for me, those have been turning points in my political career as well. Interestingly, I agree with you totally, because even back then with my community had it in mind that the directly elected seat is only for what? For men. So changing their minds to vote for a woman, actually a young girl, not married, she has no home. You know, that is how they usually describe us. You are a young girl, you have no home, you have no husband, so you can't lead. And it is very sad that they have to, I reached an extent and I was like, do I need to first have a husband to lead? Is my husband the one that is going to serve you people in the community? Is it, or it's going to be me, right? So all those questions come around with that. But I also would like us to understand that we are now evolving. The women's movement is doing very good work to an extent that we have progress. People have started to realize that women can actually lead. I'll give an example from my community. My woman MP is actually an inspiration to me. She's doing amazing work in my constituency at the district. Now that she did very good work, people looked at her and everybody was like, If a woman can work like this, if a woman can transform our community like this, women naturally, we are empathetic. You would agree with me, we are very empathetic. Somebody is going to say, Honorable, we don't have this. As a woman, you're a nurturer, you'd want to build something, you want to you want to be there for your people. You're actually naturally a mother. That is our nature. So with having those characteristics, it helped her so much. And my community started asking questions. If a woman is doing very good work like this, just imagine we had two women, or we sent two women to parliament. How would the community grow? So we have a woman MP who is a woman. We have the one of the directly elected seat who is also a woman as well. That means that the place is going to transform. We are going to develop. And it was because of her. So now people's minds have started changing. People have begun evolving, saying, no, we should not always, it should not actually be about gender. Let it be about somebody's capacity to lead. Let it be about somebody's potential to lead. But it took me time to convince my community, especially the men. Men are naturally egoistic, So they have challenges of ego. So it took us some time, at least, not much, because I think it could be a space of a year or some months, to convince them that we can lead. But it was through talking to the community, sharing your vision with the community, standing up. You get a microphone, speak to your community, speak to the hearts of the people. When you open your mouth, let them see that it is a leader who is communicating. And that is what helped me so much, because I shared my vision with the community. I shared my mind with the community. And every time I would speak my manifesto, they knew that if we sent this young girl to parliament, she can actually do so much. And every time they would tell me, oh, you're young, you are a woman, the best example I could give them is, when you've just gotten a job, do you know that you're going to work so hard, either to impress your boss, or you're looking for promotion as well? Because maybe you've been employed, but you might also be employed on probation. You're not sure whether you're going to sustain the job or you're fully employed, but you're going to try to impress your boss. And for me, that is the position I put myself in. I told my community, you're giving me this job, but put me on probation for now. But I know that I am also looking for what? For promotion. That means I am going to do my best not to disappoint my community, because this is my first job I've actually gotten, and I want to serve my people. So sometimes it is just how we relate with the community, and sharing your vision and your mind with them is very important. That is really what helped us. I will start with my community, because I come from West Nile, and back in the days, West Nile has very brilliant young people. West Nile has very articulate people. West Nile can do so much. We have good soils, but unfortunately, you get to realize that West Nile is one of the regions that has been left backwards, one of the regions that has been underestimated in so many angles. But for me, for my community of Vurra, I remember back then, I would tell them, look at our education system. Might not be so good, because guess what? Majority of our students keep dropping out, or majority of our pupils keep dropping out. If you look at from P1 to P2, there are many. You could even have 400 pupils. By the time they reach senior 4, they are 14 or 20. So if we look at, because I told them I am standing in front of you because of education. If I had not finished up to Makerere, then I would not be here. But how can we have very many young boys and girls from Vurra who are done with education, who may not finish school, but let's have somebody who has gone to maybe vocational school, someone who has a skill, And for me, those are the things that I've been trying to advocate for. And in the education system, I told them, What if we had workshops for teachers? What if we had training programs for teachers? But besides that, even sensitize parents, to take children to school. Encourage your daughter, encourage your son to go to school. Because why are they dropping out? And that's the challenge that we are having. Vurra is actually a food basket of West Nile. For me, that is what touches my heart the most. We provide food for the whole of West Nile. But guess what? Our people are not benefiting from that. How could we improve on our agriculture system? For me, that is very important for me. Can we have strong cooperatives for our people? But can the cooperatives also benefit? Can we support them? How can we support these cooperatives to grow? Because at the end of the day, our people are good at agriculture. So we want them to benefit and grow from agriculture. Maybe can we fight to get value addition seeds for my people? Let's improve on the farming methods and make the system more commercial. So I saw this, and I'm like, being a member of parliament, you can advocate for some of these things for your community. If you know your community is good at farming, how do you improve that? How do we improve our education system in the community? How do we support entrepreneurs? Because mine is on 3 bases. Let's support entrepreneurs. Let's improve on the education system. Let's improve on our health system. And you see us grow, right? So for me, that I've been thinking about that, and that has been my vision for my community as well.
What about Uganda in general? What do you...
I would look at Uganda, and I see we are actually now transitioning. You get to realize that I respect our seniors very much, but you get to realize that young people are now what? Joining the political system. Young people are understanding how systems operate. Young people are understanding how democracy and governance operates, right? So for me, not even only looking at politics as a career, but having a vision to transform your country. Here and there, but transforming our country starts from you as a leader. Yes, I might be in the NRM party, and so many people speak very many different things about the NRM party. But for me, I focus on my values as an individual. If your value is doing right, if your value is saying you're not going to be corrupt, because we've seen the level of corruption in our country, let's not lie about it. But now that we are having new energy, now that we are having a new system grow up of young people, can we work together? It should now be a generational cause, to correct the mistakes that our historicals made, to correct the mistakes that our forefathers made. They did great as well. We appreciate them for that. But, as time goes on, there are certain things that might go south. But now it is our responsibility to come up and correct that. Looking at a country that is one, not divided by identity, not divided by ethnicity, looking at a country that is actually united. For me, that is my vision for this country. Not going to Western Uganda and we are saying, oh, these Banyankore, we are tired of them. Not going to Northern and we are saying, these Acholis also, they are like this and that. Because for me, I believe that once we are united, it is easy for us to come up and make decisions, And at the end of the day, we should be purpose-driven as young leaders. I could say I have a vision for my country in the democracy sector, in the governance of the country, in the systems, in the health systems, we've seen all that. But at the end of the day, even when you have a good vision for your country, it depends on the personality of the leader. You realize that. Right now, it's unfortunate that some people might think everybody in NRM party is corrupt. But I've seen leaders who are very good in the NRM party. I've seen leaders who have done so much for their communities, but it is because of their personality and their values and what they believe in. That is very important as a leader, your values, your principles, and your beliefs. because that is what shapes you. That is what is going to guide you to make proper decisions as you're serving your people and your country at large. I've spoken so much about this. From my school of thought, I really don't think it was a gender issue. It was more of a political issue, because back then I subscribed to the National Unity Platform while I was at university. So going to offer my candidacy in Vurra, I then switched to NRM. So my people from the opposition obviously, had to express a few emotions here and there. But I am one of those people who strongly believes that one, a belief is just a thought. We can have beliefs and say, my belief is this. Have you seen people who are trapped because of the beliefs they have? I do not know an elaborate an example I could give, but there are people who are trapped because of the beliefs they have. So if I was trapped and I said, for me, my belief is to actually just remain in one political party because that is where I started, that is where I began, I'm not going to move. I would not be here in this interview with you today. Interestingly, I need to let people know that a belief is simply a thought you believe to be true. It is a thought you have put in your mind. And sometimes these thoughts are going to trap us. A belief only changes how you think, but it does not change who you are. And that is what I told people. Simply because I've switched to NRM does not change exactly who I am. It's not going to change my values. It's not going to change my perspectives on different issues, So they had their narrative. I had my narrative as well. And how did I feel about that? Of course, here and there, sometimes you look at these comments, a few of them hit, but at the end of the day, the courage to be disliked by people is very important. And for me, I usually tell humans that once you have that thick skin, and you have very good shock absorbers, that you're not you don't expect to be liked by everybody. You are going to focus solely on the decisions that you make. Your worth should not be determined by society, and you do not need to make decisions according to society expectations. Make decisions according to your purpose. And for me, that is what I did. I knew I needed to serve my people, and I can only do that with a ruling government. In politics, that is how it works. If I want to really serve my people genuinely, I am going to have to work with the party in government. Because your opposition, while serving people, you're going to be frustrated. I need to be in my community. I am here getting arrested and I'm put in cell. How am I going to serve the people? You see that? So for me, that is how it was. And I learned so much throughout the process. We are a work in progress. I love being a student. So throughout the process, you learn your mistakes. We are not very happy about a few things that we have done, but it is only very important for you to forgive yourself throughout the journey. Once you forgive yourself, you grow. You learn. And for me, that was really the experience. I during our campaigns, that was in Vurra, I am very happy. I love my people so much, and I remember the days would go for that we would go for let's say we are campaigning, or maybe we have a particular rally. For me, seeing that people embraced me, seeing that people embraced my vision. Every time I would speak and the community is happy, the women are screaming, the women are happy, and even the men, they're like, yes, our daughter. For me, those were my happiest moments. In my mind, I was like, regardless of the outcome of the election, this has been my best moment. There is no day I have ever said I am tired of going to the field, I'm tired of going to speak to people. For me, I always enjoyed the moment. I enjoy dancing with my people, laughing. You would see a few videos when I'm with my people. We are laughing, they are screaming. It's either they are carrying me. And those are moments I do not take for granted. Actually, it has affected because very many young women are hesitant to join politics. But not everybody is immune like myself. But I would want to first of all, how has it affected young women before I even go to how women can really protect themselves from this. For me, one thing I know is number one, it has undermined our credibility, because you're going to come and say so many things about Lenia. Even somebody who doesn't know Lenia is going to have their own different narrative, you know. Someone is going to have their own different perspective. It's only when they meet me and listen to me, that's when they are going to know that she's actually brilliant, right? So it has undermined our credibility, and at the end of the day, women, we are naturally very fearful. We would want to protect our families, we want to protect those we love, and social media cannot give us that, you know. And at the end of the day, it also reduces our self-esteem. Yeah, so it has affected so many young women out there. But even when it comes to mental health, you know, you're not going to say so many things, you're body shaming a woman, this and that and that. And that was done to me as well. But for me, one thing I would want to tell women is, when you know that you want to, maybe you're passionate about leadership, you have interests in joining politics, it is very important for you to understand the challenges you're going to face. It is very important for you to understand the obstacles you're going to face, because when you do, you are going to have a shield. When you do, you are going to have survival mechanisms for all these things. I made decisions, I made choices, and I knew there would be a backlash. So for me, honestly, I prepared. I was ready for that time. I prepared. I hardly I stayed away from my phone so much, so that I don't see very negative messages, yes, and comments. I really stayed away from my phone so much. I had another friend who was operating, making replies here and there, and it was not me. I was just told, stay away from your phone for now, and that helped me so much, you know. But again, accepting that this is what I got into, and at the end of the day, I'm going to face it, endure it, and live. And you know, that is the advantage of being very purposeful. That is the advantage of being very driven, because you're going to face certain circumstances where you need to be extremely bold and courageous. It's not only about passion. I usually tell people passion is good. I'm passionate about this, but what is your purpose? How are you going to endure certain situations? That is very important. And for me, those are the things that helped me stay immune to some of those comments, some of those backlashes. So to the ladies that are very interested in joining politics, please look at the pros and cons and see what you can handle. But I am very certain that if I was able to pass through it, then any other young girl can equally pass through. Okay, I would really, I just want to be very honest. We are all human. Of course, there are days you would break. There are days I just wanted to pack my bags and leave Varroa, and I'm like, I am done with this. Because politics is financially draining, emotionally draining, physically draining. That is the honest truth. But yet again, sometimes you think of your why. You think of the reasons why you first started. But again, what helped me was, one, I had a very good support system. When you have a good support system, that protects your mental health so much. You have your mother that is checking on you, your father that is checking on you, you have your good friends. You're not sleeping alone. There are so many people around you, and they're always checking. Are you fine? Are you okay? Have you eaten? You realize some people even don't take care of themselves to an extent that they are in an election and they look very malnourished. And you can only understand that because it is a very draining process. But I really want to thank God, because I had that support system. But yet again, there are days I would go mute. To protect my mental health, I would wake up one morning and turn off my phone. It's on flight mode, and I sleep the whole day from morning. Now, after I have slept, that's when I wake up, I refresh, and I'm like, okay, I've rested enough. Tomorrow morning, we can start again. But again, so many things helped me. I would listen to so many podcasts. I love Nisa Nicole so much. So once in a while when I'm broken, I go and listen to her podcast. You know, there are people that encourage you, there are people that motivate you. But again, I had mentors as well. Besides a support system, we need mentors. You realize that even the senior politicians have mentors and people who guide them, because these mentors have passed through these situations and they are going to guide you on how to handle certain issues. So it is very important to have a mentor, somebody you can go to, and you need to connect so well with your mentors. So for me, I've had very good mentors who have helped me throughout this journey, and I am just extremely thankful to them. I need young people to understand that you don't just wake up one morning and you say, I want Charity to be my mentor, right? Before you choose a mentor, you need to understand that, are you going to be able to connect with them? Understand the character of your mentor. Study them, or somebody whom you wish, I wish this person could be my mentor. It is very important for you to learn them and check through that, will I be able to connect with this person if they were my mentor? Or if I shared my story, my vision, my dreams with this particular person, would they be able to guide me through? Not everyone is going to be your mentor, especially in a very competitive space like this, right? Not everyone is going to wish you well. Understand, because when I was looking for my mentors, I looked for women who are very passionate about uplifting young women. There are women who are not interested in that, they are not. But there are those who are going to see a young person, a young woman, and they are very excited. I will give you Winnie Kiza. She will see a young woman and she's the happiest. She even calls you, first come, and I speak to you. Right? From West Nile, you're going to see Hajat Medina. She's a very nice lady. She's Director of Finance, NRM. And she's going to see a young woman and she's going to call you. But there are those, they're going to see young women and they are not interested, and it is okay. So you have to be very critical when you're looking for these people, when you're identifying your mentors, And for me, and a mentor is only going to get interested in you once you show effort. Right? That is very important. I am not mentoring somebody who has not showed me effort. Show me effort, get interested. For me to get to some of these mentors, they would have, I'm very certain some of them saw me more than 10 times. It's either I've been to their offices, I get when they are busy, I come back again later. I looked for them, or they would find me in very different political spaces or gatherings. And then one of them would get shocked. Even today, Lenia, you're here. She looks and she's like, but this girl is resilient. It is too much. Come, let me talk to you. And now that is effort. That is resilience. That is saying that I need you to guide me because you've seen my what? My effort. And that is how I was able to get my mentors. So for young people, don't sit in your comfort zone and you expect a mentor to come just because you've texted them on social media, just because you've looked for them once or twice and they have not seen effort. I want to be very honest, it is not going to help. And I'll be honest with you, I have equally also faced backlash. There are times I would look for particular mentors and it's either the way people respond to you, it's always there. You're going to knock a few doors and you expect that this particular woman is going to be able to guide me, and whatever they tell you completely breaks you. I've been through that, I've walked through that journey, but I get to realize that identity is very important when you're looking for a mentor. Just like if you're looking for a mentor maybe who is shrewd, you're a person who is very aggressive, you're shrewd, and you're looking for a mentor who is telling you about God, you know that two of you are not going to connect. You're going to look for a mentor and you ask, how did you make it? She will tell you, I prayed. Very spiritual. You're not going to understand it because for you, you're shrewd. You want to know, how do I do it? How do I move? And someone is telling you, kneel down and pray. You're not going to understand. It is only when I'm spiritual, I will also understand what my mentor is talking about. When my mentor tells me, Lenia, wake up at 3 a.m. and pray, I understand that because I do that as well. So now we've connected. But for somebody who doesn't believe in prayer and they tell you, please, this is what guided me there, this is what helped me through, it's going to be hard.
So in this case, who are your top 3 or 5 mentors in this case?
Oh my God, I have very many mentors, but I'll mention a few. I look at Hajat Medina in the political space. She's very good, very kind, and she helps. For her, she guides you. She calls a spade a spade. So I really love her so much. When I'm wrong, she's going to tell me, Lenia, you're wrong, and I want you to do this way. Nyamtoro Fiona has been very kind. She's an extremely prayerful woman. I love her for that, and she has guided me in that journey as well. My mentors have been mostly women. You've heard of Forward, Forum for Women in Democracy. That organization, the women in that organization have mentored me so much. They have literally made me who I am today. And even my mentor, Fiona Nyamtoro, walked through their hands. I've equally walked through their hands. So we cannot take the work that Forum for Women in Democracy does. There are so many women there. Winnie Kiza is part of them. Madame Patricia, she's part of them. We have very many young women, actually leaders in this country, who have walked through their hands. Do you know that the Prime Minister Nabanja also walked through their hands? Minister for Investment, Anita Evelyn, walked through the hands of Forward. So Forward is doing amazing work to mentor young women. Actually, for young women who want to join politics, please look for Forward. Look for that organization. You're not going to remain the same. Yeah. I will look for, young women are looking for, when we talk about an online space, actually you brought an issue with online. When we talk about an online space, can we get mental support for women who have been maybe insulted, harassed online? They need it to help them grow so that they don't lose hope and they continue with the journey. But we also need more mentoring organizations like Forward to encourage young women, to elevate them. Young women go through so much, especially those in leadership. But the organization teaches quite a number of things. How can you manage your mental health, understanding your context of leadership, understanding you as a person before you become a leader. So there is so much. They have very good scripts, they have very good concepts. So we need more of those mentoring programs for young women. But yet again, I would like to say that now we have quite a number of young women that are coming up and are participating, by the way. Let's not forget that, to an extent that men are getting worried that women are dominating in most of these spaces. You realize
Someone told me that at the electoral commission.
You are going to talk about women empowerment, and men are like, we are tired. We are tired, enough of it, because they now feel that women are dominating in most of these spaces. But my question could be, yes, women are dominating, but are they making decisions? Are they on the decision-making tables? That is very important. We might be dominating by title, but am I effectively representing? Am I participating? You'll get to realize maybe there are very many women in parliament, on top leadership, but who are making those critical decisions. We need to ask ourselves that we don't want to be dominating by title. We want to be dominating by decisions as well. So we need to also work on that. But even for our senior women, let's not leave the young women. Of course, there's usually a threat. this young woman, she's brilliant, and then she's coming to take up my space and things of that sort. I'll be honest, we've heard of those things, but I am one of those people who believe that there are people who want to create legacies. There are people who are king and queen makers, and we could have seniors who are queen and queen makers, and that is how you're going to sustain your legacy as a human being, right? Because you know that there are quite a number of women who are in parliament because of the energy that you have put in. That is why we still remember the historicals like Miriam Matembe, because we know what they have done for the women in this country. They are the very first people who started the affirmative action, and we really appreciate them for that as well. Personally, I am very purpose driven. So for now, my people have given me an opportunity to serve, but I would call it probation, because majority of them are not really very sure, does this girl actually have the capacity to lead? Sometimes I would even look at a few comments and they're like, she's still very young to articulate a few issues. But for me, I usually tell people it's normally not about age, right? We've met very older people who are unable to articulate. So it is how much you're interested in learning. I am a work in progress. I am very interested in learning during this period of time. But as I also learn, I really want to serve my people. I do not want to take their belief they have put in me for granted, because I'm also looking for a promotion so that they can give me another opportunity as well. Because if I mess up in the 5-year term, obviously they're not going to give me another opportunity. I am already on a weighing scale. Can she not? So I have a lot of proving to do. And unfortunate for us women in leadership spaces, we always have a lot of proving to do. That is why we drain ourselves so much in the process, because you need to prove to the people, especially on a directly elected seat. Can she perform? Can she deliver? You have so much around that. But I know that as a spiritual person, by the grace of God, we are definitely going to be able to do that. And there is still so much more, but let's first focus on making sure that we work very well for our people in the 5-year term, and the rest will naturally come. For my constituency, first of all, I am very grateful. I am thankful that they elected me in the primary elections, and we are going for general elections in January. I am hoping that they come through as well. I'm still very grateful for the belief that they have put in me, and I know that I'm going to do my best not to disappoint them. That is what I usually tell them. I appreciate the fact that they have believed in a very young girl. They have believed in my dream and my vision to transform the community, and I'm going to do my best for them as well. And for our Ugandans, for me Ugandans, we are all one. Let's keep united. We are the leaders coming up, and I always tell people that we are a work in progress. For all the young leaders, when you identify mistakes, correct us. We have seniors, because we are growing and we are moving a journey to transform our country as well. So for me, it is peace and unity for all Ugandans. Thank you.